Alright everybody, welcome back to Joe's Corner, featuring the Shirtless Chef. Today we're going to be making fresh salsa, which means we're going to try and get all this good stuff into here. Got some jalapeños here, we have a big white onion, we have a couple of bunches of cilantro, nice big clove, a huge thing of garlic we're going to be chopping, and all these little tomatoes, including these little guys that will really change the flavor profile. And basically, we're going to mulch all this up, get it into that jar. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is put everything in a convenient bowl to get it out of the way, right? Next thing we need to do is kind of cut around some of this stuff on the tomatoes that came out of the ground. They're not perfect. Check things for mold, things like that. It seems to be like they're pretty cool. I know this looks like it's really ugly, but it's not bad. I'm just going to cut around it a bit. And probably reserve maybe the aromas just to add a little bit of texture to tomatoes, but they're all going in the blender. Along with the cherry tomatoes, they'll probably go in the blender too. The rest of the stuff we're going to chop to give it some chunkiness. You don't have to cut them a ton to get them in here. You don't want to throw them in whole, but oh man, these are gonna be good. Big thank you to my wife's uncle who basically donated all these great garden vegetables to us. Discernment? Yeah, I think it's the brown. Oh, this sauce is gonna have flavor. Look at these, they're falling apart. I like firm tomatoes in my salad, but when you're gonna make sauces or salsas and things like that, man, these ripe tomatoes, they go a long way, I'll tell you. Part of my inspiration for even wanting to make these videos is the fact that I gotta use them before they go bad. And everybody's always telling me like, oh, you know what? You should make videos. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to do that stuff. Obviously, the production quality of all this isn't like crazy, right? Like, it's here. It's real. It's live. It's pre-recorded, but in real time. There you go. That's what I should say. This is real-time cooking. This is how long it takes to do what we're doing. So you can check the length of the video and be like, oh, that takes about 18 minutes or whatever it is, you know, like whatever it ends up as. You know that that's how long it takes, which is kind of good to keep you peace of mind. I feel like a lot of things nowadays, they just do everything really fast. They do it really fast. They show you 60 seconds, and that might be cool if you're on a time constraint. And I don't know if I'll be able to work these videos into something like that. It's only my second attempt here. But we're basically going to put that into the Ninja. We're going to blend this up. We're going to cut up the next 5, put it in the Ninja. There's the Ninja. It's on the floor. Yeah, maybe I should do it. My hand. Here. Oh, it needs to be setting down. Ooh, safety feature. There we go. Maybe not. That's trial and error. Ninja. What is wrong with Ninja? There we go. And that's about all it took. Part 1. I don't really want to get the bottom of this dirty. Joe's Corner for a reason. We are limited to a corner here, which just goes to show you, you don't need a lot of space or fancy technology to make anything that I'm making. I mean, a Ninja blender is probably fancy technology, but it's about as fancy as we get in this house. This is what it is. Here, what do we do with the ninja go? Kind of doing a take it as you see it approach with these videos. I mean, this is, you get what you get with me. I'm not going to censor it. I'm not going to do a bunch of cursing or anything weird like that either. It's just not who I am. But I feel like it's good to just see things for what they are. I grew up, my dad was teaching me how to hold a knife. Notice how you hold the knife. And, you know, at 5 years old, I was cutting stuff up on the, well, not this board, but he had made a cutting board that eventually fell apart. And from a very young age, I was fascinated with cooking and chopping stuff, and felt like he did a good job of just teaching safety. That was his main thing, is like safety. Obviously the rest of the stuff just kind of comes as we go. And I'll overload this. I'm just going to juice it again. Back into the jar. Try not to overdo it, but you know, it's pretty liquidy as far as like the tomato goes. It's just the way it is. That's why we're gonna hand chop all the other stuff. We'll hand chop that stuff. It'll give it the chunk and the crunch and, you know, all the good stuff that people love about salsa. But honestly, this is really just like a super simple, clean. I mean, I'm using the jalapenos. I don't know how hot they are. Some are hotter than others, but I do like me some hot salsa. I'm gonna go on a limb saying it's gonna be about medium. This is probably what we're gonna end up with, is medium salsa. I doubt that it'll be like super hot. And you know how many peppers you put in there. If you want to do this with some habanero, you can do that too. I really like habanero salsa, but jalapeno is genuinely kind of like more well received. Habanero can get real hot. Jalapeno is just kind of, to me, I could eat them like a green pepper. I kind of feel like they're more of a flavor thing than they are like a heat thing. There's some heat, but not a bunch. That's a good piece of the ground there that needs to come off of that. Fit that all into our Ninja. I got one of the high horsepower Ninjas. It's like one of the few things I've ever bought that's like, I really wanted it. Because I hate it when blenders die, and they usually die because of the horsepower. So whatever the standard horsepower on the Ninja is, find the one that's got like double. I don't remember the numbers, don't quote me, but let's see, I got some of these cherry tomatoes. Let's see if they fit in here. We'll see. I'm gonna try. What's the bowler? Just smash it down. There we go. Splurge, splurge. That's not too much to brown on it. Okay, so that's the rest of our cherry tomatoes. I'm sure when I push this in there, the blades will just munch it up. Pulse this for a couple seconds. Probably pretty good. A little bit chunkier. That's probably more ideal to do less. But you know, want to make sure you get every last bit of them too. So our jar is mostly full. Now we gotta do the fill it with the chopped ingredients. It's gonna be cool. Unplug the Ninja before you move it, obviously. Don't want any fingers being removed or anything else. There's no blades and it won't activate unless the cup's like fully in there, as you saw earlier in the video. It just won't even turn on. I'm like, oh, why did it work? I'm not perfect. I never claim to be perfect, but I do have a lot of experience. And cooking's just awesome. Cooking is something you can share with. It's like universal. Everybody needs to eat. You can say, oh, this, that, and the other, about a lot of stuff, but everybody needs to eat. That's the best part. I said, my dad was always big on food safety, chopping, things like that. But he was also like super big on just trying things. You gotta try things at least once. If you don't like it, don't have to eat it again. That's up to you. Ooh, let's get these in the jar. Oh, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Look at all those tomatoes in that jar. Ooh. Which way do we start from here? We can do with the jalapenos. We can chop some cilantro. Let's get some cilantro going. It's always fun. Going back to the safety of things, my dad always taught me, you hold a knife like this and you'll never cut your fingers off, no matter how fast you're moving. I got a puddle of tomato juice on the floor. Have to clean that up too. One of my biggest pet peeves is chef in the kitchen is, as soon as the meal's over, man, I do dishes. I do them. It brings me peace. I get them over with. Then I can rest. I'll tell you why. If you don't do the dishes right away, they get dry and they get miserable and then you start scrubbing. Man, you get to the kitchen right away before the food dries. You're done in like 2 minutes. Forget the half hour it normally takes. I don't have a dishwasher either. No microwave, no dishwasher. I do things old school here. To an extent, I mean, I'm not making a fire in a pot, but all we got is this cutting board, this corner, and an electric stove. Really make everything work. All right, look at that cilantro. Smells good. I bet it's gonna taste good. We're just gonna dump that. I had 2 bunches for this because it's a big batch of salsa. Let's just get all that in the jar. Ooh, look at all that salsa. All right, I'm gonna go with some jalapenos. Get those in there before I start peeling garlic and onions. It's my favorite thing to do. Kind of cut it into fourths like I did with the tomatoes. I'm probably going to chop it a little bit like I did the cilantro once I get all these cut too. Just to try and make it a little bit smaller. Nobody wants a large lump of jalapenos. And the heat does come from the seeds. So if you want less heat, you could try and scoop those seeds out, but I don't want less heat, so I'll keep all the seeds I can. man, these are gonna be good. They're starting to turn like red on the inside. There's gonna be so much flavor in this salsa. Get a bunch of chips. You can put it on tacos. I mean, like, you just name it. Like, there's gonna be so much flavor in this that it's just gonna be so good. It's fresh. I mean, it's a couple of ingredients. I'm not going to add salt and spices. I will do that because we're making a giant jar. I'm gonna do that as we go, as we take some out of the jar. I will salt it, or if I feel like I need to put a little ancho powder or something like that. Just because you don't want to make the whole batch. You might want a different flavor every day of the week. Ooh, look at that jalapeno. Let's get it into that jar. Oh, that's going to be good. Alrighty, now I'm going to peel some onion. Get them ends off. Again, if you've heard me say it before, I don't mind taking a whole layer off of my onion as long as I get that skin off, whatever. It's fine. Generally, I'm not too wasteful with things, but some things are just, nope, get it done. I mean, you could essentially blend the jalapeno or the garlic, but you know, it doesn't look as cool when people look at it. It'll look kind of just like a saucy soup. And you really do need some kind of texture to it when you're eating it so that it tastes good. So I got these onions broken up pretty thin. I elected not to chop the jalapeno any further than it was, so it's just gonna have to do. But these onions, you see when you cross dice them, they're pretty thin. They're not like, they're little itty bits. And again, the chopping knife, man, a chef's knife, a good chef knife. The sharper the knife is, the less dangerous it is. You won't cut yourself. Typically, I mean, it can be done, but typically, if you're paying attention, you're not going to cut yourself with a sharp knife. It's the dull knives you got to work out for. And when I say a nice chef knife, I'm like, don't hesitate to spend upwards of $200 on it if you want. It's going to last you for the rest of your life. You'll never have to replace it. You'll have to worry about injury. And it's something you probably hand to your kids when it's all said and done. All right, let's get all that onion in the pot. This is gonna be good. Ooh. Do we even have room for the garlic? We'll find out. Oh man, that's adding up. I know the tomato looked a little liquidy. You're like, that tomato looks a little liquidy. I get it. But once you start adding all the chunks in, this is gonna be so good. The bulk peeling of the garlic. Peeling garlic is not my favorite thing to do, but there's a certain way to do it that's a whole lot friendlier than just trying to pinch it all off too. This is a good bulk garlic. I like to find the garlic that has the roots on the bottom. When it's like kind of bleached around here and it's like smooth, I don't know if it's like I prefer this kind. I don't know how natural the other one is. So anyway, I cut the bottom off, right? Because nobody wants to eat the bottom. And you put your knife sideways and watch your hand and boom, boom. Now you can just peel the garlic out. So much easier, right? Now smash the garlic, peel the garlic. Just cut the bottom off. Give it a little smash, you're good. And get the little bits out of the way. It's the only way I know how to peel garlic. I know a lot of people use garlic in the jar. And I will sometimes for cooking. Maybe on the stove or something, I'll throw it in for cooking. But when you're making a fresh something, you know, like this or a yogurt salad or something like that, you really want to add like fresh chopped garlic. It changes the flavor. The garlic that comes in the jar, I tend to see people add a lot of it just to try and capture that garlic flavor. And then you might end up in the bathroom or something, you never know. It's like, oh man, I ate all that garlic. Ugh, I don't feel good. Well, a couple of pieces of fresh garlic can match probably like scoops of the stuff in the jar. So since this is a giant jug of salsa, I figured we would go ahead and put plenty of garlic in. It's gonna be a large part of the flavor profile, especially if you don't add spices. The garlic's gonna be really good here. I'm lucky that the store had like really big garlics too, because the little itty bitty garlics, I like peeling them even less. Let's just put it that way. Elephant garlic would be great, but I can never find it. I found it at a farmer's market not too long ago, and it's just like, it was really good. It was really good, but some people thought it was too spicy because it's really big. It's purple. It's got a lot of flavor to it. But you know, this should be good. This looks like big, healthy garlic to me. As far as like going to the store and grabbing it, I'm happy. A lot of times the cloves are very dinky and it's like overly priced, and it's like, man, this is halfway out the door already. Pitfalls of cooking. Yes, I really do just pitch it to the side as I'm cooking. I'll clean it all up off the video. You don't have to see that part. You basically just pitch it to the side. All of life. It don't take long to clean it. Whoa, that's gone. The other thing, the smaller the garlic gets, the harder it is to smash. Skin on the way. Nope, it's not gone. Found it. Garlic does not come off your fingers, by the way. It takes a while and then some washing, so you know, that's another reason a lot of people use jarred garlic, just because it makes your fingers stink. But it's so good. It tastes so good. You can adjust the garlic level. I think this is probably kind of appropriate for how much salsa I just made, but honestly, I feel like I could put more, not less. That was quite a bit of tomatoes, and that jar is fairly big. It's just the standard IKEA noodle jar, whatever it is people buy when they move real quick because it's cheap. I don't know how many ounces it is. I didn't check. I just started doing these videos. I think it's gonna be fun because I do this stuff on the daily anyway, so I might as well just start recording it. As far as like the internet and the world that revolves around it, I don't know how that's gonna work. I guess people can leave comments or something, tell me if they liked it, tell me if they didn't like it. I assume that all that kind of stuff in videos I've seen, people are like, oh, leave a comment. Oh, oh, you should subscribe. I don't know how that, oh, that's gonna work. That's over my head. I'm the cook. I cook. But I guess it would be interesting to see what people thought. Oh, look at all that fresh garlic chopped up real nice and good. Get that piece of skin there. Ooh-wee, going in the jar. Let's put that in the jar, right? That looks like a jar full of goodness. But we need to get that mixed up a bit. Just go ahead and start stirring it, however you want to do. This knife is my favorite tool. Dang it, chopper. Oh my gosh, look at that just transform into the most beautiful salsa. I bet the flavor profile on this is out of this world. Oh my gosh, it just looks so good. Let's see here. Oh, it's not missing anything but salt. This is beautiful. So there you have it. That's salsa. As you pour it, ladle it or scoop it or whatever you want to a little bit of a bowl, salt it accordingly to your taste. I like to use more salt than most people, so I would salt the hell out of it, so to speak. Anyway, look at that beautiful jar. Just gotta put a lid on it. Just gotta put a lid on it. Well, that's if I can find the lid. Aha! I found the lid. Boom. Salsa in a jar. It's fresh. Every bite's gonna be delicious. It'll impress your friends. Give it a try. Thanks for watching. Joe's Corner, featuring the Shirtless Chef.